No. Nope. Yep. Right. That's correct.
Only a couple of songs, because I am going to piss myself real bad. So.
Testing. Okay. Testing.
Why are you losing focus when you've been focus locked?
Refocus. Relock.
Okay, I'm literally in the middle of procrastinating so fucking hard that it's actually hurting me. It's genuinely hurting me because I gotta pee real bad.
And any more procrastinating is just not going to help the situation. So I'm just going to bunker bust this bitch by going brute force right through it.
It's funny because my ideas and my theories and my hypotheses kind of evolve over time, and the style of evolution of the idea is actually indicative of its form. So it forms itself, which gives me more clues as to what it is versus me trying to force feed or force it square peg in a round hole it into whatever fucking belief or narrative that the brain can ought to. Because whose brain, which ought to what and to who. Backtrack. Every now and again, I'll be reintroduced to synchronicity in my own experience of life, and it always comes back at me in different ways. Every time it comes in a different way. And if I ever see it double up rapidly, I know that it was more likely than not something in my own behavior. Let me do this way. Your brain is evolved to compartmentalize and fast track things. So it creates patterns that one simple model of them are heuristics, where your brain will start noticing a pattern, and then it'll start looking for that pattern specifically, and then it'll start after a while retrofitting other things that are just outside of that pattern to that pattern and test them to see if it actually fits as an analog or a direct interpretation. Anyways. So your brain will do that naturally. That's what the cells themselves do. So every now and again, you'll notice you're seeing signs, you're repeating the same number. Oh no, how did that happen? And just at 3:33, how did I look at my watch just at 3:33 or 2:22 or 11:11? It's because you looked at your watch every fucking couple of minutes, and every time it wasn't 11:11 or 12:34 or 1:11 or 2:22 or 3:23 or any other fucking variable that's a repeating pattern that's noticeably standing out from the random entropy or of variables and integers, you don't actually acknowledge the times where it wasn't meaningful. So the times where it was meaningful, you're like, oh my god, I've been looking at 11:11 every day this week. Yeah, no shit. It's just that you were looking for things to be meaningful outside of yourself. So whenever you found something outside of yourself that was meaningful, you actually recognized that you were noticing something. And at every other time that you were noticing things, it wasn't really meaningful, so you didn't even notice you were noticing it. Or you didn't notice that it was even being processed psychologically or anatomically. Because your brain is always reading input signals from your from your senses through your precepts, and your precepts determine whether or not they need to bring your higher order of cognitive functioning online to pass the information. Because no things just get neutralized. There's no point. Backtrack. Point. Where's the point? So where someone in something with regards to the news said God's eye view. And I was like, I have never fucking heard that before. I think I might have actually heard it in passing when I was younger, but never really thought anything of it because who cares? But the natural conditioned version of that saying is bird's eye view, because God's eye view is apparently used in photography and cinematography. And I never even knew that because I never studied photography and cinematography. So I started looking into it, and let me just really pull it up real quick because it's right here. And bird's eye view is what I've always thought of as it being, because as a bird, you're flying above the terrain looking straight down. And that just makes fucking sense. It's a bird's eye view of things. But in cinematography and photography, the analog God's eye view shot, God's eye view camera angle are meaning philosophy. And that's what I'm right now. Because God's eye view has the same kind of idea where it's a view from up top looking down. But that's not God's eye view. You see, for it to be God viewing the subject, it would be viewing it from every angle, at every moment, at every timeline, simultaneously. And not just it, but it and its relationship to the environment, and then the change in the environment, and then the environment simultaneously. The environment itself at a God's eye view. So it wouldn't see the thing as the thing on its own. It would see the thing as all things as they all are to themselves and each other as one and itself. So God's eye view takes a particle as a field force function to the rest of the fabric of being, because all things are simultaneously to one another as each other, being themselves. And the point was that I just wanted to catch that you as an individual particle have a first person point of view, but you also have a second person point of view where you see what can be seen, and then you have a third person point of view which is you seeing what you see of yourself. You see yourself from a third person point of view. So it's your first person person point of view, your second person point of view, which is another version view, and then your third person point of view, which is an external looking at you, and then there's your fourth person point of view, which is your time dilation, your sense of self in the timeline that you experience. I wouldn't say inhabit, experience. And then your fifth person point of view, which is your sentience, the fact that you're aware and you're aware of yourself being aware. That's consciousness, which is your sixth, seventh, eighth, and then your ninth being your God's eye view, which is seeing what you even could be relative to where things are. And then 10th is just a repeat of the very same personal God particle position. That thing is literally on the other side of the boundary. Because you've now compartmentalized and then re-projected the same base number. And every one of those is actually a base of themselves and a base of each other. And that was a rough cut of the dimensionality of the timeline of self. I just wanted to catch that God's eye view thing, because God wouldn't be viewing you as another. If it was, it wouldn't be God. It couldn't be. God would have to be viewing you as a whole, and to be so would have to be you, which is the whole point of the experience of being. There is no other frame in which. So this is just the fucking default. I'm going to leave it at that. I have no idea what I just said. I think part of it was wrong. I'm fairly sure I rushed and just fucking square peg round hold that thing, but whatever. It's okay. I will just leave it because I don't give a fuck. And that's where this video is left off. God's eye view takes the position of no fucks given. So see you in the dark, better.
They say that God is mysterious, and He is. As most of us deal with the law of physics, and God deals with metaphysics. Random thoughts. Why did those people on Star Trek need machines to dematerialize and beam down? And some of us just astral travel to get around. Why did they try to lock us down and put us in chains? From ancient